We're about to start all over, everybody.
Pledge allegiance.
One thing I think we should consider is if our primary job is to serve the poor, then it should be arranged in such a way that it is convenient for them to get to the bus. If you ran north and south, they'd have farther to travel to get to the trustee.
Understood. I'm just throwing out suggestions.
So I think that is
Is all
something
I'm
that
doing.
should be considered.
I think we really ought to see how it plays out. Try to get like townships together. It may naturally come out. I mean, Greencastle is definitely going to be by itself. And so everything around there, if you look, they're very similar. And if you go through, I think, it may work its way out. And I don't know how many you want, but
Well, I don't think there's a magic number.
I don't either.
No, there's not a magic number. You're right. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Go ahead, Bill.
I don't have any skin in this game, but currently our townships cooperate by school district and those that have fire protection districts or whatever, either version of them, where you have those two layers of current cooperation, so that could be a starting point as well.
Well, here's my idea. I think if we cut it down to so many trustees, I think we ought to have a trustee per the commissioner districts. The lines are already made, so that's my idea. But I'm up for all kinds of suggestions, so.
So what are you gonna do with all the fire equipment and everything? I own all the fire equipment here from Township, Lauderdale owns all their department. I
Yep.
mean,
If you two merge, both of you own it.
that may be.
But you know what I mean? It's just stuff that's going to have to be worked out.
Because there's only one fire department in the north that is strictly a volunteer fire department, and that's in Russellville, Russell Township. The other,
Volunteer fire departments.
well, I know, but I mean,
Districts.
right, exactly.
And if the legislature would got what they want, they'd be gone too, so they're not.
What is some of the trustees' thoughts?
Yeah.
Anybody? Anybody willing
What do you
to
think, Steve?
throw something out there? Come on, Bonnie.
The problem is what you get if you merge big with small, the small loses out.
Absolutely.
Because the big goes, we don't want to buy new trucks, we're going to put it all over. That ain't the way it's supposed to work. So you merge big ones with small ones, however, which, I don't know if it's big or small, but they lose out. It's the nature of the beast out there. So it shouldn't.
Would this be voted on by the people? They have no choice.
Well, I don't know exactly. This is to start merging, or somebody else, I'm assuming, will do it for us. I would prefer to, as Andy and Tom and I try to get ahead of this game, and that's why we're here tonight.
Karen, what did the state lady tell you again? She said that my first step needed to be to go ahead and consult an attorney. And I asked her, can I use an attorney that the county has already hired? And she said, well, that seems pretty smart to me. You'll have to get approval either from your county council or your commissioners. So that's one of the questions that I have for you, is can I go ahead and use the county's attorney?
Go right ahead. I give you permission.
Thank you, Mr. Inslee. Nod your head.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you are hired. I'll be in touch soon. But she said that was the first step. So she also said those who elect to merge on their own are going to get a lot more freedom of how that merge takes place versus if you wait until the state statute.
Well, we've had some volunteers tonight.
Yeah.
I can only do my tax rates. I'm going to come and listen to these to make some good recommendations for me. I'm going to make a good decision for my constituents.
Yes, ma'am.
Question for you, just for the trustees that want to merge, as a person who doesn't understand all this, why do they want to merge, I guess is my question. Now, I'm new to this, why would, Karen and. So Warren Township is electing to merge early because we think it's best for our constituents. Why, knowing that I don't have a fire department, I have very little poor relief, right, so I'm gonna score my poor pretty darn easily, and why don't I go ahead and do the best decision for my constituents and large part of that's gonna be on tax rate, right?
Rick, you're talking about the percentage of, property. Something you haven't got to yet is population. And I went through and found the best figures I could. And,
Population's not in this bill.
pardon?
No,
Yes, it's 50, it says 51%. At least 51% township population.
oh, resides in a municipal boundary, so that, yeah.
So what I'm saying is, does that force the township to go in with the town? If it's 51%.
Well, looking at the numbers, that pretty much says Greencastle needs to merge with somebody.
Well, Greencastle's gonna have to merge, probably Cloverdale. Yeah.
And are these towns gonna take care of the cemeteries and moderate fence line
Hey,
disputes and things like that?
that's somebody else. I take care of my cemeteries. Bainbridge is 53%. Rochdale's 57%. There's a lot of things in this that involve that, I don't know, you want to start throwing the townships together and stuff, but there's other things that, from what I'm seeing, I spent a lot of time trying to go through and figure this all out. I didn't go to none of the state meetings and all that. I've been going on what I can read out of the law. And look at the population, so, pay for what it's worth.
Okay, hang on just a second.
Go ahead, Bo, say it.
You have to meet both the 80% requirement and the.
It's
It's all.
Okay. So it's, you gotta meet both, not just one or the other. Okay, so you gotta meet both. So that would mean,
Well, you got the whole town of Bainbridge in Monroe Township.
yeah, but 80% of the township boundaries don't overlap with the municipality. Right?
Well, I mean, this way boundaries you're talking about, town boundaries or
Township.
the township boundaries?
That's a darn good question.
It's both, no, it's both. 80% of the township boundaries overlap with the municipal boundaries. So the township boundary would have to overlap with the municipality's boundaries as well. I think you'd be in a
Basically,
situation.
does the city have 80% of the township?
Yeah.
Geographic. And then you got the population side as well, 51% of the population.
That's case, everything got the 15%.
Correct, right. So it doesn't, so then that doesn't, that kicks it out of that one, of that, yeah.
But those
So,
are
so if, the way Rod just explained it, there's no township that has that. Okay. All right. So we can pretty much, those bottom two, township merged with municipality, we can pretty much mark those out.
Townships already merged. We went over that before. Before this legislation, townships were merged.
Cities and townships.
Merge whatever you want.
That shows. I did find a point, one of the persons mentioned something about debt. If you look into statutory language, it says this subsection applies to a merger under Title 36. Indebtedness that was incurred by each former township prior to the merger may not be imposed on taxpayers that were not responsible for payment of the indebtedness before the merger and must be paid by the taxpayers that were responsible for the payment of the indebtedness before the merger. That makes sense. So in other words, if you and I join and I got a bunch of debt, doesn't mean our taxpayers don't have to cover it. Now, new debt that we incur together, everybody gets their piece.
So if two townships merge, then the tax rates are gonna stay, if there's debt, only the township that has the debt, those residents will pay it?
That's what the statutory language.
And then the township, then they do not. Okay. All right.
I don't think so.
And there'll be a new max levy with the new mergers. That's been discussed as well. That should be in that bill language somewhere. But there'll be new max levies go for the townships that merge. So if you're worried about money, not working out right, it's in that bill. I don't know exactly where.
So if we went by commissioner district, we would have, the north would have 5 townships together, the middle would have 4, and then the south would have 3.
No. South would have more than that. They'd have 5, right?
5?
You'd have Washington, Warren,
Oh,
Jefferson,
I'm not
Cloverdale.
far down.
Cloverdale, East Cloverdale, West, Jefferson, Warren, Washington.
4.
4.
Well, yeah, I was looking at that one back here. So 5, 4, and 4.
That's why I got more gravel roads. Does anybody else have any ideas?
Any other trustees have thoughts? Where we go from here?
I'd like to see what the score is before I make too much of a decision, at least for me. But I definitely think that we need to continue to have meetings and talk. I don't think anything bad can come from getting together and talking about it.
How many township trustees here have debt, fire debt or anything on their rolls? Is there any?
On
Just one?
Cloverdale.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything to add?
They're looking to see, but I think it read, and like, that many years ago, I can't remember, that if we choose to consolidate, we then have to bring it to the commissioners and they have to approve it.
That's the way it's been explained to me,
Yeah.
but I'm not 100%, okay? Yeah, yeah.
But we can do that this year, because we're going to,
You can start those, that tomorrow.
that's what I thought.
Absolutely you can.
Just gotta get yourself an attorney. Which I think I just did.
I know that.
So what happens if a couple townships decide to merge this year? And then at the end of the year, the LGF comes out with their findings? Then what? I'm just playing pros and cons here, both sides of the fence.
Okay, you want to merge all these townships, what are you gonna do when you gotta talk to trustees, and I might give my current township up, then what? You gonna own this-
Well, that's gonna come down to December 31st. The state's gonna look at you and go, man, you're merging, bud.
Well, okay, so you merge, so what? You still got 2 trustees, who's gonna decide is gonna be the people
Right.
holding the punch?
By January, yeah. The way that the dates fall,
It's whenever, how does that, well, to me, whenever that election cycle is,
yeah.
That's the 30, that's gonna be 30,
so,
2030, so that's gonna be the next election.
Right, and they're cutting us off on 2029. So we're gonna be, if we're elected this November, we don't get a 4-year term. If we don't merge, we only get a 3-year term.
If you score the points,
Right,
before
right.
summer.
I'm assuming those instructions will come out as time will
But,
tell.
I mean, that's just, I wondered how they could, how could you cut us off on 1 year? That's what I didn't understand.
So that was an chance.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How will that affect such as Franklin and Jackson, Clinton, and Monroe townships, since they already are a fire district?
That's
The
yet,
money's already compelled.
yet to be determined.
Together, but yet, we don't,
You want to start the county fire department talk?
not really. It's something that's going to have to be addressed.
It is,
All
100%.
there is, and it's starting
To me, I think this is the first step of, we're gonna come down the line to where we're gonna have it's my opinion only, okay? This is only my opinion. Just things that I've listened to, but I look at Monroe, the county,
Who controls the money? The main.
Tom, those questions are so many years down the road.
No, I'm talking about Monroe, you're looking at Monroe, who's going to control the money?
I don't have the answer.
They have a board. It's a fire district, they have a board.
And a fire district can have debt, or a fire territory cannot have debt.
But 270 left out in fire departments. Fire departments are gonna stay as is.
Right.
Regardless. So if your townships merge, your fire protection district isn't gonna touch.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
Yeah, this is just my opinion. I say, I mean, for me, I don't want to wait and see what scores we get. And then I like the idea, I can't remember who suggested is to, if we have to merge, then merge with the like townships. Like, so, I mean, I have like a $23,000 a year budget. Merge with someone that has that same sort of budget. I mean, that's my opinion.
We have to touch,
You
correct?
have to touch.
Oh, you have to,
you have to touch.
Okay, well then, all right. I didn't realize you had to touch.
So when,
What she said?
so when you merge,
Sure.
Yeah.
I thought, no, our county council needs to stay in their lane.
I ask questions in your meeting.
What are the odds of this changing again, this coming legislation?
Very slow. I think, I mean, you might see if there's a problem that needs to be tweaked, but I don't think you're gonna see substantive changes, because you need to watch let this play out. I think you bring a very good point, though. I don't think you need to wait until the DLGF scores you. I think you probably could try to score yourselves and figure out if you're one of those, maybe they were 4 points or over. And then if we can all figure that out, they'll tell us, but we can all figure out how many points you're gonna have, because these criteria are fairly objective. And then, if you're 4 points or over, you think, just really start thinking in your head, we're talking to other trustees about, you're right, look at another township that's kind of like to you, has a similar tax rate to you, you need to touch, and then just start talking with one another and saying, all right, does it make sense for the two of us to merge or not? And I think over the next several months, figure out if you're one of those townships, and if you are, then start talking about who you might want to pair with, because Rick made this point, I firmly believe it's the right way. It's better to control your fate than have the DLGF tell you what to do, because that won't work out as well.
Agreed.
Yes, because I fully encourage all trustees to start calling your neighbors and have coffee or lunch or something and go, hey, all right, what do you got? What do I got? What do, you know? Because the other part is, if you've got, if your township has $200,000 in the bank, and your other township has $300,000 in the bank, whatever the numbers are, you know, what happens to that money? You know, huh? So we, yeah, so, yeah. So, but I fully believe we need to start talking now, and I realize that scores, yes, but I mean, I agree, we can self-score ourselves and know where we're gonna end up. It's pretty cut and dry. So, but.
Go ahead.
Question, I'm gonna throw it.
You're only allowed 3.
Too bad. You're not a teacher. Hey, it's true. Throw a wrench. Election year, right? People are running against people, right? You decide to merge, did that person that was running against you now just get knocked off? Or how does that work? Because, like right now, if you wait till the election in November to know who they are, you get your scores, and then next year would possibly be the time to, you know, I mean, you guys can start talking now, but if I'm running against you, Steve, and I beat you, and you decided to merge and I don't want, I mean, how are you making that decision? You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So,
I know exactly what you're saying, and I don't have the answer.
right, so I didn't, you know, it's just a thought that if
Yeah.
you're running against somebody and they decided to merge, they just cut you out of running for an office. Just plain devil's advocate.
Understood. No, it's a very valid point of how all that's gonna
That's why I was
figure out.
You waited till election, got your numbers, and then say, I mean, you can start talking, but then after that, you're like, okay, now we know who we're working with, who our trustees are, let's figure it out. But that's, it's not.
So yeah, I don't know if the runoff, or,
Yeah, because I mean,
because
you got
these two
people already on
township
the ballot,
trustees are
so-
both,
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't know the answer.
Because you're up for reelection this year, right? You filed, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's why I was like,
As well as the boards.
yeah, so it's more too,
Board members that do or don't want to do that.
right?
Has anybody else got any words of wisdom?
So the ITA website, which is the Indiana Township Association, if you're a member of that, you can get on there. They have a scoring tool with explanations of each point broken down way more than that piece of paper. So if you're a member, you can get on there and take that score, get some explanations, and there'll be questions that were asked today with answers.
I do want to thank
Oh, yeah.
Representative Baird and Senator Clark and Gray for coming. Thank you very kindly for that. That you didn't have to, but we greatly appreciate you coming. Is there anything the three of you want to add?
Go ahead.
Consider Niemeyer's defense, he was a township trustee, right? He
Yes.
comes from your world, so it's not something that he's trying to like be against this, not by any means, but I think he sees some writing on the wall. You all have been having this conversation for 25 years, and something is gonna have to give for our taxpayers and for you and for efficiency and transparency and filling the blank of all the good things that we're trying to accomplish. So for Rick Niemeyer, who's really put a lot of heart in this, I can promise you, this was not an easy day at the office for him by any means, and even from my new guy perspective. But I think it's something that was needed to be done, because again, it's kind of one of those things, take the bull by the horse, try to do something proactive to save us a little bit, or let just go by the wayside, and God knows what we end up with. So I do appreciate it, and as Senator Bray said, probably won't be major tweaks, but when you have your coffee meetings, and you start thinking about, gosh, there's a little problem on page 46 of this bill, that's when you call one of us and say, hey guys, page 46, this is killing us, you can't do this X, Y, Z thing. And that may be something that gets overlooked, like in the LSA language, when the attorneys draw it up. And those are the kind of tweaks that only the expertise that you guys can give us will help to do that. Absolutely right. So thanks for letting us at least come and listen and be a part of it.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
Has there been any consideration, should there be a need within the townships, when we talk about the mergers versus, one township has lots of applications, Bridgeport Township, and someone else doesn't, or you merge two townships with a lot of need.
Right.
Then what does it do? I don't consider what you're worried about, tax rate, some tax levies, but the other side is service. And like to merge two DMVs, and it doesn't always work out for people, like the is how you get the DMV, or how you get the post office, and post office word. So from a consumer, customer standpoint, can we give, or is that on the table at all, some consideration for where are the areas of need within our county?
Go ahead, Rob.
Couple of thoughts on that. I guess first of all, the language contemplates that a little bit, because need, if you have need, you don't get a point. The townships that don't have those needs are gonna get a point. So you'll be less likely to get in a position where you need to merge if you've got a lot of poor relief, things like that. So, there needs to think about it in those terms. And the other thing, like I said before, is if you get to a position where one township needs to merge, you look around and decide who to merge with to how it might fit the constituent base. And I don't think two people with 7 points each will merge together, like join our badness to make one worse. I don't think that's the idea either. I think the idea would be like, if you're doing a really great job, maybe me not so much, maybe mine needs to go under you. I think that's the idea. I think the real goal is efficiency, not necessarily elimination.
Question. Marion County excluded from this?
It is.
Why?
You know, Marion County is a piece of different animal altogether. It doesn't compare. I mean, you know, the population of Cedar Township is hundreds of thousands of people, and it gives away hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of poor relief. It's just not similarly situated to Putnam County or Morgan County or any other places.
And to prove my point, the big one is, what am I doing?
It's a perspective, I guess. I don't know that I share.
Well, I realize that we have a Marion County that doesn't get touched. And all the small
Well, they wouldn't come anywhere close to full points. There's not a township in Marion County that come anywhere near getting full points. Just because of the way their situation.
Yeah, and trustees got big salaries. Decatur Township gets $90,000 a year. So if you want to talk big bucks, let's talk big bucks.
Yeah, that's certainly a fair conversation. I'm not trying to defend Marion Township situation, but it is not similar to the other 91 counties in the state.
Hey, I've been there, know them people.
You're sitting there thinking, go ahead, Steve.
How close are the county to figure out where they want the district or
On the fire department? I don't know, we haven't talked that discussion yet.
The county has not had any discussion.
Oh, okay, well,
The city has,
yeah, well, yeah, okay.
but the county has not had any discussions. The three of us have had zero.
Where do you go on some of the decisions?
The only discussions we've had is, we kind of see writing on the wall from the State House that this is heading our way on fire. So that's the only thing that we see, and that's just doesn't mean that's something 2 years or 12 years or.
That answers all the questions.
Yeah, but the city's the one that had the meeting, and they're the ones that come up with that. They,
They've talked to all of us one-on-one.
yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
The mayor has.
Well, I'm just curious, because that would answer a lot of questions to me. If you took on another fire department, you need
Right.
I understand that Ed stays, for example, you can find that out.
I mean, this here tonight's to me, it's pretty important because we got one township in the north that want to put oh my gosh, what kind of tax is it that they want to do to, a fire tax to buy a new fire engine, and that's at Roachdale. So they're gonna be coming to the council this next, meeting to decide on that. So, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, you know, I hear all sides of it, I don't know.
You know,
And the big thing of it is, in my opinion, is it's gonna be funding. If we have a whole county-wide fire, how are we gonna pay for full-time fire people? I mean, it's not, you know what I mean? And where do we do it at?
I'm just curious about if you
Yeah.
talk about it.
No, us three have not talked about that at all.
Believe me, that's a conversation all over the state. That would be the fire territory versus the district versus the towns versus countywide EMA. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna try to dive into it this summer just because of my folks in Brownsburg and Danville. And it's with some of the tax rates and the changes from SDA 1 and some of the things we tried to do at the DLGF, like it was 1210. Boy. So we'll definitely keep in touch with all of you because that is an emerging, as Stephanie knows, that's a big discussion. Not just here, I promise you, it's everywhere. Because the rates and things are just so unbelievable.
Understood.
You getting ready to say something again, Tom?
Yeah, now it's sad. The Cume Fund was established in 1992 because our assistant chief of Decatur came out, and we went up to 10% levy. Since I've been in Putnam County and trustee, I've started looking at different districts. There's a lot of townships out there that don't have it. When I took over Jefferson Township, they was collecting something, a third of what they could. So instead of having $300,000 to $400,000 sitting in the bank to buy a new truck and not go in debt after 3 years, they had $60,000. I see now that Roachdale, they just decided they need to do that. They should have done that years ago. Did they not know? I don't know. It's sad to me, as funding is hard to get. This is where you accumulate money to do things without going in.
Yeah. I don't know the answer to that one either.
Education is what it is.
Does anyone else have anything to add?
Thank you guys for what you said.
Does everyone have our phone numbers in case they have questions or things? So if you do not,